this is going to be the review for the new Tyler Perry movie Straw, that's starring Taraji P. Henson, and it's about the story of a mother who basically reaches her breaking point. Within all the stuff that goes on in her life and things that she's experiencing, she hits a mental break, an emotional break, and a physical break that literally leaves her going through dramatic events that lead up to the main plot and story of the movie. As you probably already seen through the shorts, my rating on it, so this is just my thoughts on the movie and things that I found interesting about it. So let's start off with, I guess, outside of what I already gave a review of, what did I like about the movie? So the one thing I liked about this movie, and it's probably said by a lot of people, especially since a lot of people find that Tyler Perry's formula for a lot of his movies are generically the same. Same plot, same storyline, same characters, same character development, and also just same tragic backstories and you know how he usually does stuff. And it's nothing to gripe against him and his writing ability. It just comes off as either lazy to some people or uncreative to other people. But hey, if it's broke, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah, I'm keeping that in there, so please don't try to correct me. So outside of that, I mean, the way that he went with this direction in this movie was definitely one I can see a lot of people walking away from, and just having that feeling of this is something new. This is something that we haven't got from Tyler in a long time. And the twist in plot, not the twist and plot, but the twists and turns that happen towards the end of this movie really just shows that he was really going for something different, something that we haven't seen before, despite the fact that the rest of the movie just feels like the same type of trauma dump that he usually puts on. Now, like I said in my previous review for this movie, you're going to notice a lot of times that Tyler ends up doing a lot of like trauma dump on black women in his productions. And it's not like he's doing it in a negative light, but it's just like, imagine the worst possible thing that can happen to a woman, a black woman at that, and then times it by 10. And that's usually how his movies go, and exactly what happens to the main character, which is also always a black woman, which is nothing wrong with that. Like I say, there's nothing wrong with that, because he is highlighting a lot of things that black women go through here in America, and especially what happens amongst family members, because a lot of things are kept behind closed doors. And so there's a lot of black women that suffer in silence and never get a voice to the trauma that they face, that they carry on, and that they put onto their children moving forward. So it is a good thing that he continues to do so. It's one thing to highlight it. It's another thing to dump it on people. Because you'll see in this movie that despite all the stuff that happens, and yes, it's supposed to be a woman who reaches her breaking point, there's already an event that you don't really know about, and then there's a couple that you do know about that are enough to like set you over edge. And it's just like, it's times 10, and it just makes you say in your mind like, dang bro, she's really going through it. But like, is she going through it so hard, and just everybody is just so mean that their actions come off just super extra. It's like even the store manager to the police officer is just like, yo, I mean, I know this stuff happens in real life, but it's just like, for that to happen to one person in one day, and then like the way they went about it, and it was just crazy. It could be a lot. It could be a lot, and Tyler's known for that extraness with a lot of his characters. But it's just like, for some reason, it's just a regular formula for him to just notch it up times 10. And then sometimes it pulls you in, like it did in this movie, and sometimes it pulls you out, like it does in most movies, where it's just like, all right, this is just, it's too unrealistic. It's too unrealistic. Like, what the heck just happened? And then there's times when you're just like, bro, I know somebody like that, or maybe you've been through that. So it all depends on how you look at his stuff. It's just, for me, it just felt like after a while, it's like, you already drew me into this character. I love this character. I feel her pain, and I'm going through it with her. But then it's like every 20, like almost I wouldn't even say 20 minutes because this movie is fairly at a good runtime. Like, it's not too long, kind of gets straight to the point, but at the same time, it's because of the heavy dialogue on the disposition of black women dealing with trauma and all these mental breaks and stuff like that. It's like you highlight what's going on with her, and you highlight that in such a good enough way that if anybody else was to listen to it, they can relate to it, or at least they can have some form of empathy that they can, feel connected to the character and their trauma. But then he does it again in like the next 10 minutes and takes almost like 15 minutes of the movie to then do another dialogue like section where he's just continuing to talk about it again, but now in a different light with problems that we haven't seen in the movie but are just highlighted points about real life issues that are going on. And then he does it again later on. So it's just like, dang, okay, that's what I mean by dumping. He's just, sometimes he dumps it on too much when you already got the point. Let's stick to the plot of the movie so that we can keep moving forward. After all that, I mean, I like majority of the acting. I like the dialogue that comes in. Like I said, it is dumped on a lot. Trauma and all the stuff that's going on with this character, and it just kind of seems repetitive at times, but it's still enough of that emotional heartstring, that pull at your heartstrings, that it still keeps you connected and keeps you grounded to the movie. I think overall a lot of people who have positive experiences of this movie are in the right. You're gonna walk away feeling something, and you're definitely gonna walk away saying like, Tyler did his thing with this one. This is definitely worth a watch, and it's on Netflix. So if you already have Netflix, it don't cost you much, and if you know somebody who has Netflix, it still don't cost you much. You shouldn't have to pay to go watch this movie. This is definitely a good one, and it fits being on a streaming network like Netflix. So I definitely say everybody should give it a chance. Definitely check it out, especially if you're a Tyler Perry fan. This might be one of his top 10 movies, or at least top 5 if you don't count the Medea movies. I would say maybe one of his top 5 movies that's without the Medea character. And I could definitely say you'll walk away being very, very, I don't even know a word for it, but I guess the best way to put it is like you're going to have your emotions stirred, and you're going to be so glued to the TV as you're watching it that the time is just going to fly you by. You almost wish this was like an epilogue series where you can see this going on and see how other characters in the show, maybe how their lives go or something like that. But this was just a great movie. It's just, like I said, as great as it is, it's great to the standard of Tyler Perry, which means critically it's okay, and that's why it got the C+ rating that it got. Outside of that, I guess the only thing I want to talk about that was, outside of the emotional dump that I could say, there's a part in the movie, and this is a little bit of a spoiler, so if you don't plan on watching the movie, you can listen to this part, and if you have watched the movie, you can listen to this part. But the one thing that kept taking me out was, and I get it, if you do this, it ends the movie a whole 45 minutes earlier, is she continually says, and it's emphasized in the movie, so it's not just my imagination, she says this countless times in the movie, I will leave the bank if you tell that man out there to leave. And through this whole time, everybody just keeps bringing it up, or keeps ignoring the fact that we can end all this standoff, all this stuff going on, if we just get that man over there out the scene, out the area. And for some reason, we can't go along the line of police officers that are there, because there was probably maybe a good 8. Go to each one and at least ask, hey, do you know the suspect? Do you know who they are? Anything like that. Then then on top of that, as she continues to say it and say it to the police officers, it continues to be ignored until it gets to a point where hey, we should probably really try to find this person. So they try to go through their regular means going through the database, looking for tickets, whatever it is. But the fact that she keeps saying it's that man outside right there, it bothered me so much, because I'm like, it's one of the men there. So it's either you're going to ask all the men there, hey, which one of you guys know this lady right here, or you tell all the male officers, you gotta leave. You gotta leave. Female officers on deck, male officers go. Because it just didn't make any sense after a while. And I'm just like, she asked for one thing, and we act like we don't know what she's talking about. Only for the ending of the movie to finally bring up this point. And it was so quick and easy to find this out. On top of the fact that the lady officer, who they claim, like, no, maybe she didn't put it in the system because maybe she was helping her out. No, she still was trying to back up her male counterpart. And not to say anything that negative about police officers, but let's keep it real. Blue blood runs deep between them, and she was willing to protect them despite the fact that she felt like he was wrong. And so that was just a crazy scenario. Now, that was a realistic thing, and I was cool with that. But it was just like, dang, like, we finally got to this point. Everybody knows what she's saying. Well, here's the thing. Nobody knows what she's saying. So everybody's just keeping this information to themselves and then just talking amongst themselves until the FBI come up. That's when everybody want to finally do their jobs right. I can't walk away without saying Tiana Taylor. That girl can act. That girl did her thing in this movie. I really liked her in this role. I know a lot of people making fun of her police officer walk and her wig and everything like that, but I think she did a really good job. I really felt connected to her. Once again, it was like, I just love how they allowed her and Taraji time to shine, and they kind of worked off each other a lot. And then, man, I wish I knew what her name was, who's the bank teller. I remember her from the Jamie Foxx show a long time ago, but she's a phenomenal actor too. And I think outside of Taraji, her scenes was just as powerful, despite the fact that I don't really even remember her saying much. But it goes along the lines of, like, you don't need to say a lot to still have an impact, and she definitely should get her flowers on top of Taraji and Tiana. Like, she really did a great job. Outside of that, everybody was just basic Tyler Perry characters, especially male characters. And if you watch Tyler Perry movies, you know how he writes the male characters in those movies. So it's in here too. But outside of that, it was just a really good movie. I know it sounds like I'm hating on it a lot. I gave it a C, but I only gave it a C because where it's great under Tyler Perry standards, it's okay and under everybody else's standards. But that doesn't take away that it's one of his best movies that he's put out. And just so happens it's on the streaming service, so you can watch it for free. So definitely go ahead and watch it. That's just my quick review. I just wanted to give my 2 cents about it. I thought it was really good. I thought it was a great time. Please watch all the rest of my movie reviews and follow me here on YouTube or on Instagram. I am him and he is me, and this has been my movie review. Follow along, like, comment, subscribe, and share this with a friend if you need to. And or maybe you just think I'm cute, like it for that too. So catch you guys later. Thanks.